Today I'm going to talk to you about my mistake in business number 2, not in any prioritised order, but my mistake in business number 2 is avoid the scattergun approach. Now, I'll go into detail on what this is shortly. But so what I'm doing on Thursdays at the moment is a series of mistakes that I've made in my business experience over the last 20 odd years. So I've made plenty of them. So there'll be plenty more episodes than what I'll be doing one a week over the course of the year on this. So this is number 2, avoid the scattergun approach. And what I mean by that is that those of you, obviously, if you've watched any of my previous blogs, you'll understand I have a fairly sizable portfolio. I talked about how I built it and all that side in the previous episode, which hopefully you found really useful. But the issue was, I talked about how I bought a lot of it no money down, or low money down. And but what I was doing is I didn't have my own, in-house sourcing network. I had sources that were finding these deals for me. And although I was doing my due diligence on them, I couldn't control where the source was sourcing as such, because I had a network of people that were sourcing all over the country. And because of this kind of legal loophole that I was utilising to purchase property with no money down, sometimes I was even getting paid the back end to purchase these properties. So it just made complete sense to buy everything that came about the stack. The issue is the portfolio. I'll go through some of the destinations the locations that we have properties in, and you see how far and wide spread they are. We've got properties in Scotland, just outside Glasgow. We've got properties in the north east, so County Durham, Hull. Across the Pennines, you kind of got Burnley, Clitheroe, Nelson, Blackburn, Oldham, Manchester. Then you go a little bit higher, you've got like Barrow-in-Furness, Lancaster. Sorry, I've just got something in my running toe. Lancaster, Colne. That's back across the Pennines. And then we've got Liverpool, Bootle, and then you start coming down. We've got Berkshire, so Finch-Hampstead in Berkshire. We've got one in London. South Wales, we've got 2, Cardiff and Swansea. We've got in the Cambridge area, we've got Haverhill, Soham, Newmarket, Mildenhall. So as you can see, there's a pretty wide spread. They're pretty much all over the country, with the exception of the southwest and the far southeast. So what's the result of that? Well, I don't regret any of it, because I've always been someone who focuses on my positive energy and positive framing. There's opposing forces on everything. You can look at things from a negative slant, or you can look at things from a positive slant. Right? Do I regret having all these properties, or have they given me a headache? Yes, they've given me a headache. Do I regret it? No, because I can't change the past, but I can change the future. And there's a lot of equity that I kind of managed to obtain from buying these properties everywhere. So that's the positive side. The negative side was the management was a nightmare. I had a business partner separation with someone who was controlling all the northern portfolio, and when he left, because the way the business was structured is most of it was all in my name, he walked away and just left them in derelict or empty conditions, and all the overhead and running costs of running those houses fell on me. And obviously he knew that I would have to pick that tab up. So there's a huge amount of issues that came with that, and I'm still going through it at the moment, selling off properties here, there, and everywhere that now no longer meet my target objective. And my goal now is to have a much more consolidated portfolio, pay all the gearing down, have an unencumbered portfolio eventually, a much smaller one that's all local to the Cambridge area. That's it. I might have the peripheral properties that are performing particularly well that I might try and keep as well, but that's the kind of goal now. But the scattergun approach has cost me huge amounts in money, in maintenance, in management, in stress, overwhelm. Because you think logistically, when you've got one property in Hull, for example, there's a managing agent. That's one managing agent. You need power teams everywhere. 90% of this portfolio we managed in-house, with the stuff in kind of the Greater Manchester area and surrounding areas we managed ourselves, and all the stuff in the Cambridge and vicinity and Cambridge Suffolk areas we managed ourselves, which is 90% of the stock. But all the little peripheral stuff like Wales, Scotland, the far northwest in Lancaster, Barrow-in-Furness, the northeast, Berkshire, London. You have to put power teams in place for each of those. You think of how many people are involved in managing those. Huge number. And then, I've had pretty poor experiences with letting agencies in the past. If you get a good one, wrap them in cotton wool. But I've had so many substandard letting agencies working with me, never getting the voids filled or charging me a fortune on fees. Tenant fees were abolished and all the fees came onto us as landlords. So, the margins in these properties were drained and gone. And I'll talk about analysing due diligence on properties and doing real financial analysis on them rather than, gross figures and all this type of stuff that people so often will do. But I'll talk about that in another episode because, you really need to understand the cost of running a house. When things don't go swimmingly, it's really costly. So, and not just from a financial perspective, from a stress and overwhelm, it take its toll on your team. Relationships with people. It's not all a bed of roses in that regard. So all I say to people is, when you want to get into property, whatever strategy you're adopting, don't get sucked in. I was chasing the shiny pennies, with thinking, don't pay anything to these properties, all this equity. But if I look at the equity I've manufactured in what I was doing against the cost I've incurred in running it, it's probably nowhere near as profitable as you'd like to think when you look at a balance sheet, asset and liabilities basis. We factor in the cost of running these properties and the losses that they've been making for so long, which will weigh any profit you made in the long term. So, message number one: stay within your vicinity or somewhere where you're regularly based. So it might be that you spend time away from home and you're then fine. If you're in a different location, that's fine. But try and keep within, I say, 45-minute radius of where you are. Makes it manageable. Even if you get outsourcing to letting agents or other people to manage on your behalf, you can still jump in if stuff doesn't go right. And believe you me, you will have to jump in from time to time. And there's nothing worse. The other one, Lytham St Anne's is another place we've got. That's miles away from where I live. It's like a 4-hour drive. A block of flats, and the other time I have to be up there sorting bits and pieces out. It's not a quick nip down the road and sort out a broken lock at number 49, is it? It's a whole day of travelling just to get there. So, and then it's trusting people to do stuff in your best interest, which, sad to say, but in my experience, it's quite rare that it happens. I'm not saying when you do get good people, there are plenty of them about, wrap them in cotton wool, really look after them, because they make your life a huge amount easier. So, something to think about there. So message number one is stay within close proximity to where you either live or where you work or where you're based for part of the time. And secondly, when you get good people around you, wrap them in cotton wool, look after them. People say, my favourite word is value. I love getting return on time invested, return on investment, my favourite metrics. But, don't scrimp and save. My wife always tells me, buy cheap, buy twice. And I hate to admit it, but she's true more than she's not true. As much as I try and chase that little cost saving, or that, it comes back and bites me in the backside further down the line. So, take advice and pay people what they deserve. Obviously, it needs to be sustainable within the affordability of your business. But wrap people in cotton wool when you have people working for you, because good people are so crucial to your business, and really, really important that people understand that. So that's number two. I think that's pretty much it. Well, you also have to look at the logistics. Would be message number three. Whatever you do, just try and perhaps map out in some form of process map or flowchart, logistically, the process you're going to kind of adopt to manage this, and really play devil's advocate. What happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? Now, don't spend hours and hours doing this, because, like I say, flowcharts are super useful, and there's definitely their place for them. But you can waste countless hours building these things out, because they're sometimes not quick to do. But what I'm trying to do is, worst case scenario, what happens? What's the contingency? How do you deal with it? And if you're comfortable with your contingency planning, then that can help you make a decision on whether that's a viable investment or a viable property for you. So it's something that people don't think about. They look at the figures on a spreadsheet. They don't look at contingency planning from a logistical or operational perspective. And that's the stuff that costs you money. That's the stuff that eats into your time, causes you stress, overwhelm, all that type of stuff. So contingency planning is really, really important. So hope you found this episode useful. It's pretty much everything I have to say on this topic, but I hope you give me enough reasons to not go for the scattergun approach. I did, but like I say, there'll be another episode on positive framing because, like I say, I don't regret anything I've done. A lot of people, if they'd had my journey, would regret lots of things, but that negative energy will hold you back. So food for thought there as well. So I hope you found this useful. As always, comment, like, share, anything you want me to talk about or you find this particularly useful, please let me know. Like I say, I add everybody's comments to my content plan, and I will get round to everybody's comment in an episode at some point. So that's my commitment to you. But if you can help me get to bigger reach with this, it'd be much appreciated. If you like it, if you don't, just hit that unfollow button and you won't see me again. So anyway, stay happy, stay positive, and I'll speak to you soon.